You are perfecting your forms wrong, and in this video, I will prove to you just how easy it is to perfect all your forms. Really quickly to explain form perfecting, first you must master your form, which can be done either by just using your transformation or using mastery points. Mastery points are achieved either by the Daima Purunga Dragon, which gives you 4 mastery points at a time, which is an entire form mastered. Or you can use the Namekian Purunga Dragon, which gives you just 1 every week, which is 1/4 of a form mastered pretty much. If you want a guide on how to master your forms fast, I do actually have a video on that subject as well, so go ahead and check that out. So once you master your form, you have to perfect it, which is, again, kind of just playing the game with your form on. And so many people have complained about how long it takes and whatnot, and honestly, I just think you guys are doing it wrong. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys why you're doing it wrong and how to do it better. So before we get into the tutorial, I quickly want to mention that perfecting is supposed to take you a long time. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. If you don't want to just sit there and dedicate time to perfecting it, it will take you time. However, there are game mechanics designed to reward you for putting effort into perfecting your forms. You can literally dedicate 30 minutes a day to perfecting, and you'll be done very, very quickly, as I'll show in this video. There are far, far worse and more grindy game mechanics such as Time Chamber, Gravity Chamber, and Grand Kai in this game, which I don't see why people don't complain about that. Probably because they're either unaware about it, or they just like are new players or something complaining about this or something. Like, I don't know why nobody complains about those mechanics. One more thing I want to mention is the fact that F level on the form stats don't actually nerf your damage at all. So any increase on the melee, rush, ki blast, and ki attack stats are literally only optional improvements that, yes, you should train if you want to keep up, but at the end of the day, don't have to at all, and can still keep up just fine. After all, each level is only a flat 0.1 boost to your damage. For example, this means that a theoretical all-S Super Saiyan 3 is only equal to Ultimate. So how it works pretty much is Super Saiyan 3 is 3 times, Ultimate is 3.5 times. That's the base multiplier. Now you add Perfecting. S is, 5 letters of perfection. So it's 0.1 each, which is 0.5 in total. So 3 plus 0.5 is 3.5, which makes it equal to a Ultimate. But of course, you can't get all-S on Super Saiyan 3 because it has certain caps. The only stats that actually nerf you are stamina and ki type, and thanks to the newest update, it genuinely doesn't nerf you all that much, so if you want to take your time perfecting them, it's really not that big of a deal, considering you truly can live with the debuffs, although I do recommend you get them as high level as possible. B tier being the level that is actually equal to your base form that you remove all the nerfs. So just to reiterate, the system is supposed to take you a long time. However, there are shortcuts you can take if you wish to put in the effort, and at the end of the day, the minimal debuffs you do get are less detrimental now. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. So first things first, you're going to want to use the Hyperbolic Time Chamber. It can level up even the hardest tiers of the highest level forms in mere minutes due to the 5 times boost. If you don't believe me, I literally leveled up all of my stats on my legend form on my Kai from F to D in less than 15 minutes with the Time Chamber, and I wasn't even like super duper tryharding it or anything. Like that was casual. Like, you can level up very fast in the Time Chamber. Now, one more thing I want to point out, because I already know a bunch of people are going to whine and cry about it and be like, oh, I don't have the Time Chamber, blah 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 blah. Brother, it's free. The Game Pass version sucks. It's so bad, they need to buff it because there's no reason to actually buy it. 200,000 Zeni is the entry fee for Time Chamber, and I'm telling you guys right now, it is very easy to get 200k Zeni in the current version of the game. That montage you just watched was the easy way to go about it, by the way. That gave you 200,000 Zeni, just tiny bit over 200,000 Zeni. You could also just straight up do the Super Genoma raid for 10,000 Zeni by itself, by the way. And then you can go do the Daima dailies, which gives you 46,000. The Daima histories, which gives you 57,000 for a total of 103,000 Zeni by itself, by the way. If you wanted to, you could summon Shenron for the 100k, but we're not talking about that. Another thing I could mention is you could summon Purunga for 2 hours of 2 times Zeni. You could also do that, by the way. And just keep in mind as well, the Boo Saga is power crept now. We're 200 levels. Actually, no. We're 300 levels above Boo Saga NPCs now. Boo Saga NPCs are not that strong. You can go back and destroy them. So that montage right there was for, like, you know, maybe not max level players, but if you're max level, you can go straight up and do Boo Saga. Them shits give you a bunch of Zeni, man. Like, that shit gives you a crap ton. Like, so, no more harping, but Zeni is very easy to get. Now, we will get onto the genuine guide of how to level up your stats physically once you're in the time chamber. So after you get the amount of Zeni that you need, whether it's from doing dailies, histories, raids, or sitting in the AFK chamber. Now, again, I do want to reiterate, you do need to do the 200k Zeni step every time you want to enter the time chamber if you don't have the game pass, which I can understand that might sound bad, but in reality, you're going to be perfecting your form so fast in the time chamber that it's definitely going to take you less than 1,000,000 Zeni. And I know, again, that might sound like a lot, but actually playing the game, you're going to rack up Zeni pretty quickly. It's really, really not that bad in the long run. And not to mention, you can just use that time to also train your time chamber stats as well while you're doing it. So once you actually have the time chamber, it's going to take you mere minutes due to the 5 times boost to get everything going and actually making noticeable progress. So let's go ahead and talk about how you can make the most efficient progress. So to find out how I gained so much progress in the time chamber, in the footage that you're seeing now, follow these steps. So first, for the first 2 stats, you actually are going to need somebody, which genuinely is kind of annoying. However, you can either ask a friend or straight up just fly around and ask someone if they also need to do their stats in the time chamber, and a lot of people might be willing to do it with you. Again, asking people around, you never really know for sure, but it's just one of those things where making friends is definitely a virtue, so I would recommend that. And for melee attack, using Birders fighting style on a friend is the fastest way to do it. Alternatively, this actually levels up very quickly outside of the time chamber as well, even if you're not even trying to do it. So maybe just playing the game naturally is a good way to level up melee attack. You don't even need to prioritize this in the time chamber. However, if you choose to, it will literally take you a couple minutes, literally like a couple minutes. Rush attack, I recommend you use Meteor Crash, Wolfang Fist, and Crane Style Machine Gun all in a row on your friend if you're in the time chamber. Or you can check out the video on my channel here where I show a combo you can use outside of time chamber to help your rush attack level if you don't have someone willing to let you hit them for a while. And again, rush attack levels up decently fast if you're just playing the game normally, so you don't even have to prioritize this in HDC if you don't want to. Speaking of that, Ki Blast is probably the least useful stat to up, but literally being in max power mode and spamming the Ki Blast button in the air is the fastest way to do it. And for the amount of complaining I've seen from people like talking about leveling Ki Blast, number 1, it literally is like the most useless thing to level up. But number 2, it is so fast when you're in the time chamber. Keep in mind, I'm leveling my legend form, which is, as of right now, the hardest form to level up for perfecting. So, I mean, there's no excuse. It really is not that hard. So again, if you don't want to waste your time in the time chamber leveling this almost useless stat, now again, it is very useful in maybe PvP and chip damage and whatnot, but if you're a casual player, bro, do you really need to level up your Ki Blast, bro? Look at yourself in the mirror and tell me you need that extra 0.5 boost to your Ki Blast damage, man. Like, seriously. And then Ki Attack, which is one that I've seen so much complaining about, and ironically, I believe it's the one I level up first. So I think, again, you guys are probably just doing it wrong. Equipping 6 Saiyan Saga beams, I usually go Kamehameha, Kaioken Kamehameha, Scatter Kamehameha, and One-Handed Kamehameha. And then I equip Energy Wave and Masenko. Those are just the ones I do. You can do literally any Saiyan Saga beam. The important part is that it has a short cooldown, and it only takes 5 ki. Now, use them, you cancel them, and you do this over and over. And honestly, this is one of the fastest stats to level in my experience. Like really, it's not that bad. People complain about it, and like, maybe when you're talking about casual play, yes, this one takes a while. This is one that you actually have to dedicate yourself to do. But it levels up so fast when you're in the time chamber. So, I don't know really why people complain about it so much, especially considering the next stat I'm talking about is stamina. Now, stamina, I think, is the most annoying to level up. You can use your time chamber to fly, vanish into a wall, or if you don't want to waste your HTC time, or you're simply too lazy, you can go to a space pod in space and fly into a wall, and while yes, it will take forever, it is a 100% AFK method to easily max your form out. I tested it, and in about 30 minutes, I got half of my stamina bar completed with ×2 mastery. Now, that might sound like really bad, but again, you gotta look into the context that you can straight up be doing literally anything else with your life while you're doing this. You don't have to be at your computer, and if you want to be at your computer, you can be watching YouTube videos or playing a different video game. Like, realistically, this is, again, like, it takes the longest, and I understand why people might want to make the devs make this one slightly easier to level, but again, you can AFK it, so is it really that hard? Now, key type might be genuinely the easiest to level up, because it really doesn't take that long if you're leveling key type by leveling up your ki blast and your ki attack stats as well. So basically, you're charging up to level up those other stats, and while you're charging up all the time, you're going to be leveling your ki attack. One quick tip I have is just make sure you're in your max power mode as often as you can while you're playing the game. And again, if you literally just sit there and charge, you can AFK this stat as well, and it will go up extremely quickly. So, I mean, really, is it that bad? No, it's really not. In the footage you're seeing, it took me about 15 minutes, like I said, maybe a little less, and I was kind of like not really try-harding it. I got all my stats in the hardest form level possible to level up, from F to D, which, as far as I'm aware, is the hardest one to do, because it's the point where you have the least amount of stamina and the least high ki charging rate. So that, in my head, makes sense, like, why that would be the hardest level to do. But, like, genuinely, it only took me 15 minutes, and, like, maybe you can say that's a long time, maybe you can say, like, that's 30 without 2 times and blah, 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 and whatever. But if you're focusing on the important stats that you need to do, it's really not that bad at all. Like, I genuinely recommend you do... You can take it 2 ways. You can either say, like, well, key type and stamina are the most important ones, so I'm going to try hard them in the time chamber. Or you can say, like, I really think my damage is more important to get up really fast, especially considering it's more annoying to do something like ki attack outside of the time chamber than it is inside, so maybe you want to prioritize that. Especially considering you can just AFK and go to bed at night and, like, wake up and, like, your ki type and your stamina are probably going to be maxed by then. But, I mean, like, those are valid arguments. So, at the end of the day, like, you don't need to fully perfect everything right at once. This is a mechanic that is meant to take you some time and effort to do. So, honestly, I have no problem with it, especially after they made it easier. Like, obviously, it wasn't perfect before, and it's still not perfect, but it's way, way better. There's way less room for complaining, and honestly, if you're still complaining after taking all these tips in, you might just be bad. So, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys find any more methods or anything or whatnot. And yeah, see you guys next time.